What's up guys, it's Captain Production 72 and welcome to my video on the new LEGO Death Star. So it's not the kind of video I normally make. If I'm going to talk about the new sets or rumours or anything like that, I kind of just put it in the end of my update videos for the month. You know, for example, when the August sets got revealed in July, I threw it in an update, that kind of thing. First of all, I'd also like to, well, second of all, if what I'm going to show in this video is a problem for any copyright reasons, any issues like that, then all I can say is I would request that if there's a problem, message me directly and this video will come down. I just thought for safety, I will put that at the start of this video, but quite a few other YouTubers have been showing these, people on all sorts of social medias, and I've given it a couple of days. So that's why this video will release on Wednesday rather than Tuesday, just so I've got time to edit in, because I will be showing pictures of the new Death Star here. And that's kind of why I felt the need to make this video. You know, it's a big thing. LEGO have never made a set in that price range before, so it's kind of a big deal. And, you know, I've been collecting LEGO Star Wars. I got back into LEGO around 2008, so I've been into LEGO a long while. I've built some interesting sets, and I got some opinions on this, because this set, I didn't know how to feel about it. And, you know, I saw the video on it talking about what it would be, because we all expected a sphere, right? You know, big LEGO Death Star. And, you know, LEGO historically have done that with their Death Stars, as you'll see. I'll have them on screen. I had 10143, and in 2005, which was the UCS Death Star 2, which had all the incomplete kind of panels and sections to it. In 2008, you had 10188, the Death Star, which was the first of the playset versions, and then I think in 2016 it was 75159, which was just a remake of the 2008 one, but with, you know, a few bits swapped out and, you know, 2016 style minifigures rather than the 2008 ones, because, you know, in 08, figures didn't really have peoples yet. So LEGO, instead of making these additional type of Death Star, which would be a spherical, everyone thought for a while in the community it's going to have panels. It's going to look like those mock-ups everybody's seen online when people have, like, a lot of people were showing off images, and it was essentially the 2005 set, but instead of looking incomplete, it had all the sections filled in, and it looked quite neat, and it looked quite nice. And, you know, that worked out quite well. That's what we thought we were getting, but maybe it's a bit more modern looking. A lot of people wanted the interior. People thought we'll get the enclosed paneling, that kind of thing. And then, well, yeah, LEGO released this, or it's going to release this. Now, I have some varying thoughts on this. It's, I'll admit, not where I thought a LEGO UCS Death Star would go in any capacity. Personally, for me, right, I wasn't bothered about interiors, right, because I'm 22. I'm not really opening up to play with sets. You know, I'm not going to open up my Imperial, my Republic Attack Shuttle and open it out. You know, I'm not going to, I don't know, open up one of the Slave Ones or muck around inside Jabba's palace. For me, it's a display model. You know, hence why I reached this my most recent purchase, because, you know, this one had no interior. That's kind of why one of the cool parts about it to me. But anyway, they do that, and the minifigures are a separate thing we'll talk about. But I don't have HD images. These are images I could find. But genuinely, I'm going to talk about kind of the rooms and what I think of each one of them. That's kind of what I'm planning to do here. A bit of a longer video. Not the review type of thing. Originally, I was actually planning to do an unboxing, so I recently built this set, the Echo Base from 2011. But yeah, I thought this would be more topical. And, you know, the Death Star has many rooms. You know, you get the throne room. You get a room with a shuttle in it with like kind of space background, which wasn't something I was particularly expecting them to do. The whole thing basically looks like a diorama. That's the best way to describe it. It is just LEGO Star Wars. I took the concept of dioramas and made it big. Maybe that's why we didn't get one this year. But starting at the top, you have that kind of whole, and I can't really zoom on these pictures, but you can kind of see the general picture. I'm going to have flash up on the screen right here and there. You have, and I'll use other kind of references. So you've got that top room, which is Palpatine's throne room, which is a scaled down version, essentially, of the set we go back in 2023, which looks alright. That's kind of the main rooms you'd want. The way I kind of see this Death Star is, I originally had the one from 2008, and one thing you would find is when you put it on the shelf, you could not display all the rooms at once. I think that's where the direction I've went with this one is, yes, you can display all of it at once. And I think that's where they went with this. And it looks alright for the most part. I mean, some parts of the build are wider than the rest. It's not like a flat pancake. And, you know, it's not too bad. Next to it, to the left, you've got a whole bunch of, like, elevator things. There's gears in some of the images, so a lot of people seem to think this will be a fully functioning elevator, you know, where you can just, you know, go up and down the entirety of the Death Star, which is alright. You've got the Death Star laser, which sticks out quite a bit. But it is a cool looking laser. I will give them that, like, full credit. I'm happy with that. And you've got that little control station that goes next to it, you know, for them to fire the laser. You've also got a couple more kind of corridors, just generic things. You've got that room, and it's a bit small, but it's that room where they have that meeting, and Darth Vader says, "I find your lack of faith disturbing." You know, and that guy kind of, you know, criticizes or calls him out. Next to that, to the left, you have looking Leia swinging over the chasm, and at the bottom of it, they give you the Obi-Wan scene, you know, where he's deactivating the tractor beam. Now, I think that's quite cool. I wonder if it'll be like that Indiana Jones set from a few years back, where you could swing over the pit, and it was a diorama set, and you could twist the gear, and he would move back and forth with it. Like, you could have him going swinging like that, but show my finger there. But you get the idea. You've got another generic corridor, and the general thing is, we're meant to be getting a Beach Trooper with this based off the Skywalker saga. They think behind one of these doors of like a hidden hot tub. Coming down to the next again level, and this is like on the level with the tractor beam. Keep in mind, like, that's a big open space. To the right of the tractor beam, you've got there, it's Darth Vader's meditation chamber, which I suppose it would make sense that Darth Vader would have one in the Death Star. He has it on his Star Destroyer in the thought I'd just show the Star Destroyer there. In the Empire Strikes Back. Which that works out quite well. You know, also now you've got the room, the detention block, and you've got Han and Chewbacca going across a corridor. Now, I'm convinced that you could put Leia behind there, like, it'll be kind of slightly flush on one side with the occasional bit that sticks out on the side you look at, but on the back end, I wonder, because there's no pictures of that, I wonder how much of a mess that'll be. But yeah, you've got those rooms there. Coming down a level, you've got Han, and it's that scene where he's running, going, and he's running through the Death Star. He walks in that whole room just full of stormtroopers, kind of in A New Hope. And then you've got this big open gap with an Imperial Shuttle, which, you know, it's a downscale model. I like to think of it as like how Lego did the downscale TIE Advance models for both of the playset Death Stars in 2008 and 2016. And to the right of the shuttle room, you have, you know, that room where R2 and 3PO go and they figure out what cell Leia's in. And you've also got the trash compactor in there, and that little sliver area where, you know, Vader and Obi-Wan have their lightsaber duel. And, you know, given all the stuff that you get in it, it's not terrible. Like, for 1,000, I feel like that maybe shouldn't be what Lego does for 1,000. You've also got a plaque at the bottom showing the Death Star dimensions, and you get Galen Erso and Director Krennic. Because there's a lot of debate in the minifigure side of things, you know, were you going to get Rogue One stuff in this Death Star? Because a lot of people, including myself, weren't sure if they were going to just make it all eras or one era. But you get rooms from each, but in fairness, there's only 2 rooms on that thing that you really see in the Death Star 2. So, like, whenever Lego make a Death Star interior, it will, like, I'd say 95% of the time, it's going to be based off A New Hope. So, do I like it? The shape's a bit different. I do like the idea that you can, you know, have it all displayed at once. Does it look like a Death Star? No. Like, well, kinda. A lot of people, I'll try and find it to throw up on the screen here. Looks like something to do with the Funko Pops. So, yeah, let's talk about the minifigures. I should also probably mention, right, that on the sides of the box, you know how on some of them they have kind of cool art, like when you see the boxes inside, you see assets like the Jabba sail bars or like Max Rebo and Salacious B. Crumb. Well, on the Death Star, it says cool, and I'll throw it up here again, image of the Death Star, and it looks like fan art. It looks like the kind of thing that, you know, someone would make like in like a digital arts class, but it looks so good. Knocked in something there, but it looks really good. So there's not complete HD images of the minifigures, not that I've been able to find fucking through Reddit or any number of places where normally, you know, you can find stuff like that. But here's the minifigures that you generally seem to be getting, right? Luke Skywalker in 3 outfits. Episode 4, both his outfits, the Tatooine and the Stormtrooper one, and his Return of the Jedi outfit. So, like, those main kind of 3 that you would get. You get Leia in our Leia Organa episode 4, Han in both his regular outfit and Stormtrooper, Chewbacca, old Obi-Wan, C-3PO with no dual molded leg, which is kind of a disappointment. I'm pretty sure the same thing happened with the sail barge here. They didn't give him a dual molded leg on that, despite in the cheaper C-3PO C-3PO kind of statue type build, you get that dual molded leg. You get an R2-D2, probably gonna have the back printing. Grand Moff Tarkin, Darth Vader, Emperor Palpatine, one of those kind of Imperial like, it's those guys in the purple robes, kind of purplish blue robes. I'm throw a picture of them on the screen here, one of them in the set. You get Admiral Yularen, Admiral, I think, it's two of the Imperial officers. I can't, like, they're so backgroundish characters, I don't know the names off the top of my head. Director Krennic, Galen Erso, you get an Imperial droid, you get 6 Stormtroopers, which I would like, but personally, I'm not a fan of the Family Guy-esque looking Stormtroopers. I hate them. For me, it's always going to be this era of the Stormtrooper that I like, kind of 2008 to 12 for me. Yeah, a couple of the Imperial kind of gunner types, Imperial kind of ground crew, Imperial officers, all different types. 2 Royal Guards, an astromech, and a beach trooper. So, the beach trooper's kind of cool. You know, Lego has almost never. Now, granted, you could look at a regular Lego minifigure and possibly say, but Lego have never done any of the weird stuff that you see in any of the Lego games as sets, at least not to my knowledge, at least not in the Star Wars theme. It could be different for other themes that have had Lego games, like, I don't know, Batman and Lego Marvel, just any of those kind of things. That could be a different story completely. But yeah, I like that they're doing that. My opinion, if I had to add anything to the figures, there's no dual molded legs. Now, I've seen people talk about this. For the price of the set, yeah, I can see why you should be included. Personally, 38 minifigures is what we're supposed to be getting. I would have went up to the 40 mark, or 45. Included a few more Stormtroopers to kind of pad the place out a bit more. It would be definitely where I'd go with that. A few more Stormtroopers. To have that scene, or maybe a couple more of those guys that hangs around the Emperor, because we're only getting one of them. And it'd be kind of cool. Maybe Lego will throw the rest of those guys in other sets, so there's other ways to get them. That's definitely a possibility that they might do that. Like, for example, there's a rumour that in 2026 we're getting a Darth Vader's TIE Fighter. And normally in those kind of sets, like back in the day, the last one we got, sorry, or the last standalone Vader's TIE we got, you got basically just Darth Vader in 2009. I know there was that one in 2016, but I'm not going to get into that because I had the A-Wing with it. We could get the rest of the Emperor's kind of consulate type people there, but like it delivers in enough areas, maybe like a Stormtrooper captain or something kind of cool like that. I don't know. I'm just kind of shooting out ideas. They could went up to 40 or 45, but I mean, the minifigures are not too bad. For me personally, like I said before, for me, a UCS Death Star, the thing that would make me really want one would have been like all panels, like the 2005 style one, which, if I'm being honest, kind of motivates me to go buy that one now, since it's not what we're getting. I suppose the overall question you would want to talk about is, am I going to buy this? Like, people who watch my channel, watch the content I make. So I do go after, like, big sets, and I do tend to go after kind of rare stuff, but, like, am I going to go out and buy this set? I don't know. I think I'm going to have to reserve my full judgment till I see a review of the set. But anyway, I want to thank all you guys for watching. But not the type of video I typically would do here. But yeah, I think it's alright. This video should be up either Wednesday or Thursday, because I have to edit it, but I'm also working night shift, so it may take me a while to do that. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Hopefully back to form with some reviews. Possibly going to get some offsets done, or might do some 2025 stuff, but see you guys soon.